Hi again. If you saw my bumper video for the front, how I made that tighter, this is going to be another video trying to make this bumper as tight as I can on my 356. Right now I don't have the brackets attached to the body. I'm going to have to slit the brackets so it can go in a little bit more. The gaps, I'm not too sure if I can maintain the same gap through it, but I'm going to do my best. It seems pretty good on this side, but when you get to this side, the bumper kind of wings out, but that's probably why, because there's a dent right here. So, and in the middle is kind of, it's been hit, so I try to straighten it out, but this bumper doesn't belong to the car because it didn't have a bumper, and when I bought the car, they just threw this bumper in because, first of all, it was trashed, and second of all, it just it's something I could have used, so it's not a big deal. I always plan to modify my bumpers anyways on any car I build, so I'll just take a step-by-step video showing you how to do it. All right, I cut it in half. I couldn't figure out how the heck I'm going to do it, so I just decided to cut it in half like I did the front, and it worked pretty good the front, so hopefully it works good back here. Well, it's not going to work cutting it in half right now at the moment, at least, because when I put it together, I realized the bumper's not centered to the car, so the brackets are kind of messed up. So I'm going to have to correct that first, and then also I was trying to figure out how am I going to cut this. I have to freehand it. It's hard to do dimensions and try to make it correct. I just remember I was in the building trades where you always had to follow the dimensions, because other trades would go on top of your work, and that just used to frustrate me. I like freehanding stuff. When I did Channel 7 Studios, I was one of the workers there, and they asked me to do the number 7 in the main lobby as you walk in, the Glendale studio. And they gave me a piece of paper. I said, forget it, I'm just gonna freehand it up there, and it came out really nice. I like doing freehand, so this is kind of gonna be a freehand. As long as it doesn't look like a number 7, then we're done. But let's keep going. All right, I lobbed the corners off so it wouldn't be digging into the car anymore. This is what I'm trying to achieve, this gap right here. Not super big. You know, probably get the marker in here, and then it gets tighter right here. So what I'm gonna try to do is the thickness of that marker, which is probably about a 1/2 inch, maybe 5/8. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna maintain that all the way around. So just like I marked right here, I want to relieve cut right there. And in this part too, I'm gonna have to shorten it. As you see, I'm trying to hold this. The camera's a little shaky. And you'll see what I mean. I'm gonna try to maintain as tight as I can. As you see right there, there's a little gap right there. The license plate frame, there's not much room in this bumper between the Porsche insignia and the bumper. It's pretty much flush right here. So, you know, I'm trying to maintain the look of a Porsche, but still with a little twist. So right here too, I'm gonna have to, you know, pick the bumper up a little bit. But as you see, it's gonna go inside this place. But you know, I have to kind of mess around with it. So I feel good. I was afraid to lob it off right there, but I think I got it right. So let's see where it's going to go. You see how it's hidden the car? So that's where it's gonna have to be cut on the bottom, is the same as the top. The front didn't have that. It was a little bit more forgiving. Now, as you see, these dimensions, you see my scribble scratch. This is 3 and 4, which is 3 1/2, 2 and 7/8, and 2 and 4, which is 2 1/2. I maintain the same dimensions here too. So what I'm trying to get is the same reveal all the way through. The piece that I'm gonna put on here is gonna be some major work to get that fitted correctly in there. As you see, it's not gonna be easy, but I could do it. So here's the next part. All right, when I started cutting, I saw some lead in there. I saw some lead when I was sandblasting in my cabinet, so I just stopped. I have to melt the lead off so I could weld the piece of metal in there. But they used lead even in the bumpers back then. That's the way they used to do things. Now, as you see, I cut that section out and I re-welded the piece with the angle on it. And now we have a nice consistent gap going through here, all the way to there. But you notice how it shrinks up the metal when you pie cut and move stuff around. So it's a bit complicated, but I'm just winging it. So what I'm trying to do is, the metal is going to be at the edge of this yellow line is. So what I got to do is cut this portion of the line out so it could land in there. So the thickness of the blade is pretty much the thickness of this black line. So I have to cut it right at the edge, and then I cut it again at the edge so it will all fall in it where it needs to go. So now I cut the piece off and I cut it right at the line. So now I gotta kind of just put it on top and rescribe it all the way across. Then I cut that black line out. So after I rescribe it, then that's gonna give it that dimension I needed to move it over. It's really hard to explain, but I have to do it to show you, but I hope you guys get it. I'm kind of not really good at instructing things, but just doing, I appreciate you understanding. Now it's scribed, I'm gonna just cut it to the edge. See, this is the part I'm getting it's harder to get this a nice gap, but I have to scribe it on the side, so when I show you, I have to cut this much off. So I got to take it off and try to follow the same plane. It's going to be a bit difficult, but I think I could do it. This is the part that's going to be a bit tricky. So, you know, it's like I'm trying to get this to go around the curve without making it look like it's been bent. So this is going to be the tricky part. Even if I cut it and weld the piece together, it looks like a little corner there, and I don't want that. I want the radius to continue through. So this is gonna probably be a few cut attempt, but I'm gonna make this cut first and then just kind of put it in there and see how it looks. I'm gonna probably tack it on there just to put it back on the car to see how much extreme that I have to do to make it look good. It's going for a little challenge. Well, as you see, I got it pretty decent running through here. The radius is pretty decent. Still got to kind of finesse it a little bit. Right there, it's got to kind of, so that needs to get taken care of. As you look through here on the bottom, I'm going to have to relieve cut a little bit right there and squeeze it together and weld it together. It's hitting the body, so I'm going to have to do the same thing on the bottom at the top. But I'm getting ready to do the other side. Well, here it is after I tack weld it together. I got kind of that oomph out of there, but still it's a bit too tight right here. So I'm gonna have to figure something out here. I'm gonna do this like a two-part video because the video is probably getting too long, and I know how it is. You can get bored watching people's videos how to do something. So this is the end of part 1 video, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next one.